Hi, this is Nathan and Emilia Abel from New Horizons Lifestyle, and welcome to Raw Talk. Today, we are going to answer a great question that we received, which is, what is the mindset of a successful person? So stick around. So that's a great question, isn't it, Nathan? What is the mindset of a successful?
It's a very good question, yeah.
Loaded with a lot to say. We could do a series on that one, actually, but we won't today. I felt that the most value that we could give that is actually your experience from a professional sports person, because if anything, professional sports people really value mindset and put a lot of effort into that to become good. So as a professional triathlete, what were some of the mindset activities that you and your coach engage in, or not necessarily activities, but philosophies? What did you experience from a mindset point of view?
From my perspective, coming from an athletic background and endurance sports, the two biggest things that I think were the most important to me and to any successful athlete was the first one being, what is your why? So you have to understand what your why is, because that's really your anchor for why you're doing what you're doing. What is the result that you want? What are the emotions that you'll feel when you get that result? How will it change your life? From a daily perspective, there has to be a visual result that you want from that. And the second one would be to actually be able to visualize that end result when things are tough, when it's hard, when you don't feel like doing things anymore, or you come across a roadblock in whatever it is you're doing, or like say an injury, for example, in sport. Being able to visualize what your end result is so key to having that winning mindset. And if you don't have that why to begin with, then you can't have that visualization to be able to do that. So like as an example, someone that wants to lose weight and get fit, this is I think a perfect example, because a lot of people, they say, I want to get healthy, I want to get fit and lose some weight. But just saying that I want to lose some weight and get fit is not really a good enough reason, because there's no real emotional anchor to hold you to that when things get tough. So really you need to be able to think about, why do I want to get healthy? Why do I want to lose weight? How will I feel when I lose some of that excess fat or whatever, or when I can run my first 10k fun run? How will that make me feel emotionally, and how will I feel by just my physical appearance of looking better? And what are the benefits for looking that way and feeling that way? Am I going to be able to do things that I couldn't do now? So that is like a real, I guess that creates a real anchor to why you're doing what you're doing. And then if you've got that anchor, when things do get tough and you're hitting a rough patch and you feel like, this is too hard, I don't want to do it anymore, you can actually visualize the end result that you wanted based off that why, that anchor, and think about, visualize, well, I'm doing this for this reason because this is how it's going to make me feel physically, emotionally, and mentally by achieving that result.
Yeah.
So I think that is where a lot of people fall short in their mindset, is they don't actually create that anchor of why, to then be able to visualize that end result you want when things get tough. And that was probably the thing that I worked on the most as an athlete, was understanding what my why was, and then being able to visualize the end result that I wanted when I didn't feel like going training. I felt like sleeping in or was tired, you know. Yeah.
Okay, very cool.
We have a special guest.
This is my why. This is one of my whys. Do you find that the actual why makes a difference? So, for example, if you have a why that's attached to someone or something you love, like a real heart matter, is that a stronger why, a stronger motivation than
Just yourself,
wanting to win gold or wanting to win a particular event? Or does it not matter?
Well, I think
Do that
I think if it is attached to more than just yourself, there is probably a stronger reason in some ways. Not necessarily, but I think you just have a different drive and a different motivation. For example, like with our business, for me, one of my biggest whys of why we set up this business and why we wanted to do that in the first place
Don't do that.
is because I wanted a better future for our family. I visualised not being dependent on an employer and not being limited to a financial resource, but actually having the ability to have that time freedom, that flexibility and financial ability for us as a family to live where we want, be able to spend more time together. And I could visualize the emotional result of that, like us, you know, doing things together and being happy and not being stressed and pushed for time and tired and all those sort of things. Yeah.
So visualization, absolutely. Visualization around the why. One of the things that I've learned is that to be successful, you've got to try and get a lot of that into your subconscious.
Yeah, for sure.
Because your subconscious actually works against you a lot. There's ingrained self-limiting beliefs. From whatever, from an experience, from maybe what someone said, whatever. There's lots of reasons for self-limiting beliefs. And take weight loss as an example. You may want to lose weight, but the minute you see, I don't know, a piece of cake, you automatically go to have some because your taste buds want it. And you may have even taken a bite or had some and you were like, oh, you know, even though your why to lose weight was strong, there was this subconscious reaction. So one way that I've found of getting your subconscious aligned is visualizing regularly. So some people might call that meditating. But one way is actually, it sounds really silly, but writing it down. Writing it down, engaging in a physical activity of writing, I want to lose weight, whatever, for these reasons. And not just once, actually maybe 100 times a day even. I mean, remember in the days when you were naughty at school and then you had to write on the board, I will not, I will not, 50 times, 100 times. That
I did that many times.
It kind of works, you know. So you do that, but you also have that declaration, whatever you want to call it, pinned up somewhere, very visible. whether it's in words or a vision board, but you've got to keep getting it in you. It's not enough just to make a decision.
It's like resetting a pattern, isn't it?
Totally.
That subconscious pattern.
Totally. And then another great thing to do is each day, at the end of the day, is to sit down and say, right, what are all the good things that I did towards that particular goal, and what are all the things that I'm disappointed with that pulled me away from the goal.
Sure.
So you write down, I refused the bread and butter at dinner.
Yep.
And it made me feel good, took me towards my goal. I want more of that.
Yep.
So you write all the good things. I want more of that. It made me feel good. It got me closer to my goal. I want more of that. On the negative side, I had an extra potato. I don't know. There's sort of silly examples.
Maybe cake.
Cake, whatever. I don't know.
Be a better example. Yeah.
Okay. I had a piece of cake, and how did it make you feel? It tasted good, but it took me away from my goals. It made me feel like a loser or whatever. I don't want any more of that. You actually write down, I don't want more of that. And interestingly enough, it does actually start realigning whatever's going on in your mind, but it's rewiring. And it sounds really silly, almost.
So it kind of creates an emotional response from your subconscious for your subconscious to want more of those things that you've associated a positive experience with rather than the negative stuff.
Right. So you're kind of rewarding yourself for the positives that you've done towards a goal. You're not beating yourself up for the negatives, but you are getting it out of you and saying, you're telling yourself, I don't want more of that.
Yeah, that's good.
You're telling yourself that. You're not beating yourself up. You're just saying, I didn't like it. Didn't make me feel good. I don't want more of that. So that's one thing. The example of being successful in business is a little more complex because it's so many layers, but you apply the same principles.
Yep.
But I remember this whole idea of visualization that was laughed upon in the early days in sports, whereas every sports person visualizes now.
Yeah, for sure.
In dance, we have to do that as part of progressing ballet technique. One of the things we do is we visualize what we want to achieve as we're warming up in a particular pattern with our body, and we visualize how we want that to transpose on the floor, on the stage.
For
Absolutely.
Sure. Definitely. I think you'd ask nowadays, any successful sports person and business person, first of all those people have coaches and mentors, and they will actually go through these things as a regular exercise to visualize what they want. Even a professional golfer or professional basketballer, visualizing being able to hit that ball perfectly to where you want it, continually visualizing until that visualization becomes pattern in your subconscious, which then actually happens.
Right. Kelly Slater's probably one of the best at discussing that, actually.
Yeah.
He talks about how he visualizes what he's going to do on a wave when he's coming up with new moves or whatever, and he's very, very attuned to that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
There's a lot more we can talk about, but probably a good place to wrap it up.
Yeah, I think we did well with that. I mean, we could always come back to that at another point too, but I think that basically encompasses the attitude and mindset of a successful person.
Yeah. But also, what do you do when you get in trouble? And there's other things like tenacity and different things like that. But that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
So. All right, cool. All right, guys, we would love to hear your thoughts on what you think makes up a successful mindset. Let us know things you've done and what's worked for you. and we'd love to, let us know. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to our newsletter, where you get insights and hints and tips about different things that we're not sharing on our Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube. Sign up at www.newhorizonslifestyle.com, and you can sign up there, and we'd love to hear from you.
Yep. Okay. See you again next time.